wanna get over. What you gonna do? Watch the world go by in a corner all alone. And I know it's none of my business, but there's something I need to say. If you could see you the way I see you, you'd start flying on your own. Step aside and let your light shine, let your love show. It's a short ride down a long road, and when the rains come and the winds blow, it's just let your light shine wherever you go. This world is ready and waiting for you to come on through. It's time to recognize, realize you're the only one like you. Oh, so step up, step into your greatness. Don't you be afraid. There's a place that you can rise up to. No one else can do what you do. Get out of the way and let your light shine. Let your love show. It's a short ride down a long road, and when the rains come and the winds blow, let your light shine wherever you go. Wherever you go.
All right. Teresa James, everyone. Lovely to be with you. Sorry I'm late getting in, but Marianne made bread pudding, and I had to hit it before you guys did. I often hear, oh, did you get some of that bread? No, where was our bread pudding? So I got him before you today. All right. So come on up here, Rev. Our presider today,
yes,
Reverend Susie Andrews. Our musical inspiration, the wonderful Teresa James. Fresh off her gig at the Write-Off Room. And some of you showed up to support her in that, so good for you, good for us. And for those of you joining us online, welcome. My name is Reverend Dr. Michael McMorrow. I'm the senior minister here at the Center for Spiritual Living, spiritual director for some, like maybe two. And so it's good to have you here with us today. If this is your first time visiting us, welcome. And if you want to hit that subscribe button, you can check in with us at any time. So I invite you to check in with Lissa, who is our concierge à la chat. And anyway, welcome. So let's start by taking a deep conscious breath and release, allowing ourselves to use the breath to anchor ourselves into this eternal now moment as we come together for our call to service, which we call lighting the flames of faith. And we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit. Now, fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here this morning. So as we light the first candle, it's for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the second candle for shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, way of primal spirituality. We light the third candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. The fourth candle we light for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. The fifth candle we light for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. The sixth candle we light for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. The ninth candle we light for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And the 10th candle we light for all those who are as yet unaware of the power and presence of Spirit in their lives, and for the space we hold for them here in our sanctuary, within our online community, and of course, within our own hearts. And as Reverend Susie lights the healing candle, please put silently into the light the names of anyone you wish to have experience the healing flame of God's eternal love.
There is one flame that burns in our hearts. There is one light that shines through our love. We light this flame with faith. We find this light within our own soul. There is one flame, one light within.
Please join me in consciousness, recognizing and knowing that there is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect, whole, and complete. That life is our life. That divine expression that we are the one life of God. And as we know, for this center, this community, this loving, spiritual, inviting, enjoying one another as we come together. And as we know for Reverend Dr. Michael, that his words touch our soul, that spark within that we take with us as we move into our world with a love and the light of the divine. For we are that divine with whom God is well pleased. And in this knowingness, I am so grateful for the opportunity to be a part of this thing called religious science. For it is a teaching that touches the world, touches the soul, and makes it a better place, awakening that magnificence from within. And as I release this word to the law, I know the law already has said yes to this. And together we say, and so it is. I really enjoy being a part of religious science. And those of you who have not taken classes here, take the opportunity when they come up to step in, because you never know the nuggets that are going to be talked about and will touch your soul. One of the curious things that in this last class that we had, The Power of Decision, was curiosity. You know, people that come into religious science sometimes come here because they're curious. They want to know. And then they find out that there's 3 P's that we can get by being a part of this community. That is princes or princes, princes or prince, prosperity, and parking spots. But what happens once we get into this teaching, that we realize that we're kind of responsible for those things, that we have to make sure that we have made that decision that we want that prince or princess, we want that prosperity, and we want or need that parking spot. I came across, someone sent me this a few years ago. It's by Albert Einstein, if you can imagine. It says, "Do not grow old, no matter how long you live. Never cease to stand like curious children before the great mystery within which we were born. Never, never, never lose that childlike curiosity." And it's amazing if we watch little children, they get so curious about everything. We have 2 little new kittens in our home, and they are curious about everything. And you have to be very careful because they want to go outside. But the mystery is what really caught my eye in this poem by Einstein. Ernest Holmes writes on page 402, "This is the great mystery, the limitless wonder of the universe, that out of nothing can make anything, but its nothing is really the substance of everything that we dream of. Everything that we dream of comes into our lives." I was listening to a radio program this morning, and it talked about perfectionism. And perfectionism is not a bad thing. Sometimes we women are chowed on being perfectionists sometimes. But it is out of that desire to know something grander, as our theme for the month is, from good to great to grand. That is what we're here, and that's what it's all about. That mystery of the grandness of life that we bring by being who it is that we are called here to be. And so it is.
Here's something a little lively for you guys today. I can see clearly now that the rain has gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that used to make me blind. Oh, it's gonna be a bright sunshiny day. I think I can make it now that the rain has gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is a rainbow that I've been praying for. I know it's gonna be bright. sunshiny day. Look over there, ain't nothing but blue skies. Over yonder, nothing but blue. Here is that rainbow that I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, bright sunshiny day. I know it's gonna be a bright blue skies, sunshine. It's gonna be alright. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. I said it's gonna be a bright sunshiny day.
Teresa James, thank you. Blue skies. Yes, we're going to get those and it's going to be hot. We're going to miss this beautiful. Oh, yes. Okay, announcements. There are practitioners available for a 2-minute tune-up. If you're a practitioner, raise your hand. We got all bunches of you around here today. And take advantage of them because that's what it's all about. Licensed practitioners work a long time to get to that spot to where they can know the truth for each and every one of us. Oh, we have a drum meditation with Burl Urkelback, Jack, Wednesday night. Oh, there he is. So come, there are some, if you have a drum, bring a drum, but I believe he does have a few extra ones, so come and be a part of something grand. Remember, we have a picnic coming up. It's on Saturday, the 8th at 12:30 at the Northridge Recreation Center, and it is going to be sponsored by our church, so you don't have to bring a thing but your blanket or your chair to sit on. But do sign up so we make sure there's enough food. God forbid that religious science didn't have enough food. So you can either go online or sign up in the Sparks Hall. Special night honoring Juneteenth's Wednesday. What is it? Juneteenth. On Wednesday, the 19th at 8 p.m. with Reverend Nancy and Reverend Gordon Bailey. Summer music camp is July 8th through 12th. Summer theater camp is the 15th to 19th, and that is put on by our practitioner, Jenny Fox, and she has been a teacher of this music and theater for years, and she brings this talent to our center now. And with that, I think I'm done. What am I doing? Oh, all right, everybody stand and deliver.
There you go.
We believe in one universal spirit, manifesting through all, natural and incarnate in us. We believe that the universal spirit is personal to and reveals itself through everyone who recognizes its presence. We believe that our faith operates upon a law of mind, which automatically manifests in our experience according to our faith. We believe in the unity of all life, in the immortality of the universal soul forever expanding. We believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the
Y'all sing with me now, okay? I am a light, I am a light, I am a light in
Nicely done. Let's give it up for Teresa James. And thank you, Reverend Susie Andrews. Yeah. And just so it's said that for every woman who's a perfectionist, there's a man who knows there's another way of seeing it. I won't put you on the spot and get an amen out of Wayne. So we're continuing our journey from good to great to grand. Today we're speaking to the power of vision. But before we get into that, I would like to just take a moment to remember that today is Memorial Day. To remember that what we do here, we're kind of an outlier religion. I sometimes feel like we're the spiritual salmon swimming against the river of atonement theology. And we get to do that because this place is anchored in a consciousness, a race consciousness, a consciousness that we all share that's based in the belief in a freedom of expression, however imperfectly implemented. And I think it's appropriate to remember that without these guys and now women, without these guys and gals, we could have been overrun a long time ago, right? That we barely beat the British, and if that had happened, we would have been, very well could have been a bunch of warring countries like Europe. It would have just been more of the same. Not to mention all the other conflicts after that. But our standard of living, the fact that we can easily move around in close to 4 million acres, 4 million square miles, that makes up the United States, 5th largest country, that as a result of this movement, that a global market has been created from which we profit in ways great and small and take for granted all the time, due in part to the sacrifice of those willing to solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States. So perhaps today, this weekend, we can look beyond division and come together in gratitude as one thankful nation of Americans. And in our exploration of the monthly theme of good to great to grand, it's always curious to me that we have these talk notes that come down from the denomination, and yet this holiday gets not even an honorable mention. And I want to say it's okay to want to see change and to love one's country at the same time. We can do both. It's okay to want peace and still feel patriotic. We do not need, and to remember that we do not need to pick up a gun in order to be a patriot, because these guys and gals have already done that for us at tremendous cost for everyone. So, looking forward to this power of vision for this week, let's survey where we've been this month. So, not this vision. You didn't think I was going to leave you in the dark place the whole time, did you? Not this vision, but rather the kind of vision that allows us to see beyond what we think we see. A vision that hints to something greater beyond. Maybe this is why we love beautiful landscapes, particularly those that have a horizon and an invitation to look beyond the next hill. why they can be so inviting. So I found this month to be an interesting exploration from good to great to grand, and I appreciate how it has been a gentle reminder that our practice falls short of its greatest potential when the science of mind teaching that we learn here and promote here is not applied anywhere outside of ourselves, is not applied to our outer world. And so Reverend Ryan Alexander, who's put these talk titles together this month, led us in week 1, connecting our authentic selves, connecting with our authentic selves, that we might have a deeper sense of self-actualization. So, in other words, to become the highest versions of ourselves. That the following week, Reverend Nicole spoke here to incorporating values along with this self-actualized awareness, so that we can experience our most effective demonstration of life. Last week, we looked at taking self-actualization from the micro to the macro, from the individual to the collective, and to take it to the streets. And I pointed out through my own example that we need to do our inner work first before we embark on such activities. And digging into this a little bit further, I learned that Dr. King in the Southern Christian Leadership Conference spent months training folks on how to conduct themselves during the many marches in hostile territory, if you will, even though it's still in our country, for voting rights in the 60s through the segregated South, and even in Chicago, where it should have been pretty mellow and was not. And so, in light of their example, my outing was an epic fail, although not a violent one. So this week we invite the vision. This week we invite the power of vision into our practice, where Reverend Ryan writes, as we begin to create safe places for the self-actualization of others, it is important to understand words are not enough. It is through our conscious actions, both seen and unseen, that we can create transformative spaces for others to embrace their true selves. Now, although Reverend Ryan is speaking to what Centers for Spiritual Living is branding this year as sacred activism, I prefer to apply this idea myself to building spiritual community right here on Chatsworth Street in Granada Hills, California. Now, I can still have big aspirations. We can still have big aspirations for changing the world. And we start where we are and build our influence from there. So perhaps social media is feeding all this stuff. I think it has skewed our perceptions so much that we forget that change is local first, right? It's local first. It seems like everybody wants to be an influencer to a bunch of people you're never going to meet and may not really have that much in common with, except a clique. Not that churches don't have cliques. Okay. So I doubt that people are prepared for what this really means, right? This idea of creating a safe space for transformation. I doubt if they are really prepared for what this really means. For the extremes of any issue are full of folks who are totally committed to create transformative space to embrace their true selves. As we attempt to scale transformation from the individual to the global. Because to create safe space means to create a space for someone who thinks different than you and I may. Particularly in this particular sliver of time, because I know that the world is impermanent, and what we're currently experiencing, we're going to move through it, and it's going to transform and change into something else. As, again, we attempt to scale transformation from the individual to the global. So that transformation then has to occur first within ourselves. And I have to say, it's been my experience that the majority of humans like their change incrementally. Little bits at a time. They like their change as a trickle rather than a flood. And at the same time, we do need a nudge to keep progressing forward. And it's the tension between these two forces. This is where our work is, right? This is that other field, right? Between the field of right and wrong, there's another field. This is the field where we meet, right? And there's plenty of flowers and a few weeds, some sticks and some stones, and the possibility of finding a language of commonality that allows us to move forward together. So I have to say, when our denomination starts calling for collective self-actualization, I'm very wary of that. I'm very wary of groupthink of any kind, because I don't think it's inclusive. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't face my own challenges in this regard. I absolutely do. I have to admit that I'm going to have to start going to Trump Anonymous soon if I don't stop watching social media. I'm powerless over Donald Trump, and my life's become unmanageable. Yeah, you laugh. I know I'm not the only one, right? But what's it serving, right? Because in my heart, what I really want is to create a world that works for everyone, especially those who think differently than I do. I really do, in my heart of hearts, want to seek first to understand than to be understood. And for those of us who are committed to a spiritual way of life, this is where the bar is set. So at the end of the day, if we want to change the world, we have to change ourselves. Now, Holmes writes, there is an irresistible urge, there is an irresistible potential pressing against everyone for self-expression, right? And this is the rub, right? That we're trying to create this safe space for transformation, knowing that everyone has an irresistible potential pressing against, they have their own vision, their own urge of expression. So I would add then that we have to remember then what this tells me is that we are sharing this life with others. And not everyone will share your or our worldview. And yet, even then, we are still very much co-creating our life with others in ways that are conscious and mostly unconscious. For instance, in the outer world, when we agree to live by the rule of law, this is literally what we are doing. We are co-creating our life with others. We can disregard the law if we want to, at our own peril, because there's always a consequence or a price to pay. So when we live by the rule of law, we can do anything we want, so long as you're willing to pay the price. And that may mean doing 10 to life in San Quentin. your choice. And if that's where you find yourself, you probably deserve it. Not to mention the mental anguish that goes along with it. Now, I think it's crazy to think about, but we all live by a metaphysical rule of law as well. Now, this law is a little different. It is the law of mind. And whereas the rule of law has a judge and a jury to sort out guilt and innocence, there is no judge or jury in the law of mind, but rather the logical outcome of setting the law of mind in motion. That the law is deductive only. It's not figuring out what's in your best interest. So in this way, God's plan for you is your plan. Now that's a daunting idea for many people because they want to surrender that to a benevolent being. But that is not how we see how the world works. Now, this does not mean that the rule of law is not subject to the rule of love. In fact, as we understand divinity to be, that all is love. That the creative impulse of life itself is love in expression, love in its highest forms, in its highest form that knows only to say yes as the law of its own being. So in this way, this love is within us, calling us to step into a vision of life that holds not only our dreams and aspirations within it, but is calling us to express more love and to do it more abundantly. So, this law of mind is the power to shape our lives through the disciplined use of our thought, belief, mental imagery in alignment with the universal creative intelligence, which is another way of understanding divinity. In fact, we say, play with that one idea. What is it to be divine? How does the Spirit express itself in life? How is it expressing in my life? Right? Not from a place of trying to affect blame, but rather to identify cause. And then to change our thinking around that. To identify cause and understand that there's only one first cause, and that's the Spirit. And everything else in this life is a relative cause, even though it appears to be first cause. To the level of our understanding, it is. To the level of our understanding. And I know that's a circular argument, but that really is how it works. The law of mind is the power to shape our lives through the disciplined use of our thoughts, belief, mental imagery. In order to manifest a desired outcome, we must cultivate a clear mental image or mental equivalent of that outcome. This should sound familiar to some folks who are in that class. That this involves aligning one's thoughts, feelings, beliefs with the desired result. That we also know that this law of mind has both conscious and subconscious aspects to this law, that the conscious mind, which is the demonstration of our mind acting as choice, chooses thoughts and directs focus, while the subconscious mind accepts these thoughts and works to bring them into reality, often without the individual's conscious awareness. But in both cases, we are both thinking with and thinking into a universal mind that is everywhere present, conscious only of itself. That God so loved the Spirit so loved the world that it created you in its image and likeness, that it might have an experience of itself by means of its creation. Now think on that one. Every human, but that also means like every dog, every cat, every stone, every planet, every quark, all is consciousness. That's a deep one, man. I'll let you go work on that one later. All right. So Holmes says that when we have this understanding of, that we are thinking that there's one universal presence, a field of mind with which we are thinking into and thinking with, that this is an empowering thought that allows us to step into a field of infinite possibilities for good, that there are no problems with abundance or limitation of any kind except for those in which we put into it within our own thinking. So when we look around the world and we see, there's famine here, yeah, that's a distribution problem. That's not an abundance issue. There is plenty to go around. There's enough money, there's enough food, there's enough water. It's a distribution issue. And when our consciousness attunes with the infinite power of life to express itself, then we'll become more cooperative in ensuring that this distribution works for all. Not in some kind of Marxist, way, right? We're the collective, right? So we're not going to be the Borg, right? But rather as a logical outcome of allowing the infinite power and presence of the Most High to make itself known on this earth plane. And Holmes says that what the world needs is spiritual conviction followed by spiritual experience. So the promise there is that as we know, this is my understanding of how this all works, however that is for you, there's this potential of having a spiritual experience about that. And the kind of demonstrations that I love are the demonstrations that make their way into my experience in spite of my lack of spiritual conviction or my lack of faith. That my demonstration, the infinitude of the Spirit provides for me in ways that go beyond my faith in it. And that's when I go, holy crap, this stuff really works. Holmes says that I would rather see a student of this science prove its principle than to have them all repeat words of wisdom that have ever been uttered. It is far easier to teach the truth than it is to practice it. Can I get an amen? Amen. Boy, that one, I'm glad you're following along there. That was no amen. No. So take this spiritual conviction and pair it with the power of vision, and now we're getting somewhere. That Beckwith reminds us that the power of vision is about capturing a vision of a future, that's better today and holding that picture in mind. It's like knowing that the small everyday tasks we perform contribute to a larger significant outcome. Now, what does this look like? To cast a vision, to hold a vision. So Beckwith emphasizes that more than anything, it's about seeing beyond the current circumstance. Just like on the job, where you often need to look beyond immediate tasks to understand the bigger picture, the bigger impact of a project that we may be working on. So a vision has the most power, I think, in my opinion. A vision has its most power when others are called to participate in concert with their own vision of life. For instance, for many people, the component in their practice is not belief, it's not knowledge, it's action. So can we find a place to act? Can we find a place to serve, to participate? Can we step out to lead little pockets of influence within that vision? So whether it's learning more about this science of mind stuff, meeting new people, making new friends and connections, or waiting maybe to sing with other people to help others find their own call to service and to support that. We can do that here. We can practice that here in this little place because we're just scratching the surface here. We're just scratching the surface. So Jenny's creating space for children to find their strength through theater. And she also works with Charlene and Yasmin, Reverend Nikki, to provide the kids a place for the kids to connect with Spirit through each other on Sundays while their parents can come in here and hang out. On June 8th, we have a picnic. If you're brand new, make sure you make it there. We'll have name tags, and so we'll all get to know each other. On June 18th, we're going to have a trip. That's a Tuesday. We're going to have a trip down to Founders, which is this beautiful, architecturally beautiful place where Ernest Holmes used to speak after they got it built, and Hornaday really built it up after that. On June 19th, we're going to play in the field of Juneteenth. This is new for us. And Reverend Gordon Bailey, who is the leader of the community that meets here at 5 o'clock on Sundays, he's going to work with Reverend Nancy and Beverly and others, and they're going to prepare a program for us around that. In July, Jenny's going to be facilitating the youth theater camp. The lads, if we can get the kids to show up, they're going to do a music camp. So that's Evan and Ian are going to be doing that. And Dr. Maureen is open to teaching a class on visioning if enough people are willing to show up here and to do the class in person. So there's a lot of stuff going on, including the ongoing stuff. So Beverly Scott, as out of an act of will, really, because she didn't know anybody when I asked her to do this, has pulled together our SEVA team now for a year plus, and along with all the people who are participating with that so that we can break bread together afterwards. We have animal kinship, we have greeters, soon to be ushers, and a need for a healing support group, bereavement support, a men's group, a hiking group, excursions to the Getty, to Descanso Gardens, and any of the other things that I know you've been thinking about. Wouldn't it be nice if somebody did blah, blah, blah? And the answer is yes, and that somebody is you. And you know what that's called? A vision. A vision of spiritual community. So what is the vision you have for your own life? Is there room in that vision to serve, to lead even others beyond your own needs and concerns? This is a small place where you can have a huge impact. And the thing is that this place cannot grow without your vision for something greater. Right? The board and the practitioners can take us so far, but it's all of us together casting a vision together, including your input. So whether a brand new visitor or a longtime member, we need your vision of spiritual community. As far as I'm concerned, as the guy who heads this place up, everything's on the table so long as it serves the community, right? And so I know some folks come to me with this great idea for the next multi-level marketing gadget. I'm not speaking to that kind of thing, right? But rather to create ways of being with each other where we can allow these spaces of transformation to happen. And I will continue to consider and cast a vision for you and for me, and I'm excited. I'm excited about life. I'm excited about the life that we can co-create together. So what is the power of vision in your life? And how can we together support that? And how can you support the vision of another? So let's remember that we truly are playing in the field of infinite opportunities for good. I challenge you to bring your talent, your time, your treasure, and let's see what we can do let's see what we can do here going forward together. All right, so let's take a breath. So on this Memorial Day holiday, for those of us who work outside of the home, we get to sleep in tomorrow, maybe have a little barbecue, an adult beverage or two. So let's remember what the holiday is commemorating. And to think about this notion that I put forth today, that their sacrifice has been in support of a greater vision of the life that we can build and share together. That we can take this time today to explore what our own personal vision for life is, to align with the infinite power and presence of the Most High, to allow it to empower this vision for life, to consider ways in which to allow this vision to support not only ourselves, but others. And take whatever ideas, notions, feelings that you glean from this consideration, take that into our work week, and then we'll come back next week and see how we did.
I got a few good friends, lots of acquaintances, and I've seen love in all kind of places. Seeing the look in a young child's eyes, yeah. I see what love can do. There's silver linings in the darkest clouds, quiet little moments in the biggest crowds. Church bells ring, angels start to sing, yeah, yeah. I see what love can do, and I know what love can do, yeah. I know what love can do, what it's done for me and you. I see what love can do. There's bright moments in the darkest hours. You know the sun comes shining after a morning shower, and one love ends, another begins, yeah. I see what love can do. Against the odds, we've taken chances with captured hearts, with stolen glances, but through it all, you know we took the call, yeah, and we showed them what love can do, and I know what love can do, well, I know what love can do, what it's done for me and you, I know what love can do. The best things in life can come to you. You take your time, you see what love can do. Oh, let's see what love can do. Ooh, yeah. Oh, love.
Teresa James, everyone, let's give her some love in the chat. Love in the room. Nicely done. Thank you. So as Chloe brings our offering basket to the front, we'll go into our offering song. Just make your way as you can.
Spirit gives through me. Spirit receives through me. Spirit lives and breathes through me. Spirit lives and breathes through me. Spirit gives through us. Spirit receives through us. Spirit lives and breathes through us. Oh, Spirit lives and breathes through us.
So going within for just a moment longer as we recognize and know that this basket represents both the generous heart of the individual and the receptive heart of this spiritual community. That generous heart who shares by whatever means, through the mail, through online giving, through the offering here this morning. As the receptive heart of this community, we accept these gifts with deep love and respect, as we know together they go forth to heal, to prosper, and to bless not only the vision and mission of this center, but anyone connected to it in any way. So from this place of gratitude, then, we extend a blessing upon our community of Granada Hills, our city of Los Angeles, our state of California, our United States of America, all of its churches, temples, mosques, schools, universities, the people who attend them, the people who support them, that we know for our planet as well, in some wonderfully crazy cosmic way, all is a demonstration from the heart-mind of the Most High. And to the extent that we know this to be so, we see its demonstration in ways great and small. This lifts our hearts. We feel a sense of power and connection that propel us into ways of spiritual living that raise not only our own life, but the lives of those around us as well. And that's a good thing. And together we acknowledge this by saying, and so it is. All right, so let's give Teresa James some more love, shall we? Good to be with you today. We've been missing each other for a while. All right, so let's call Reverend Susie up to pray us out. Happy Memorial Day. And I hope you get to spend some time in the way that most suits you.
I would ask you all to join us in the Sparks Hall for coffee and some refreshments, because that's the way we get to know one another. Please join me in consciousness, knowing that there is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect, whole, and complete. And as this sinner is that idea in the mind of God, that this fellowship that we share here, as if we expand the activities, as we get to know one another in a deeper and more personal way, that we are filled with that joy of spirit in action right here, right now. And as we go forth this day with a smile on our face, as we greet someone who may not have a smile on their face, can see the light shining forth that honors just who and what they are, that they too are the divine made present right here, right now. As I release this word with great gratitude for this afternoon and for this day that is ahead of us in this wonderful Memorial Weekend as we honor those who have served this country so well that we get to enjoy something so grand as we call the United States of America. And I know this truth to be so, and together we say, and so it is. Amen. Go forth and get some coffee.
If y'all would like to join in circle and sing with me on the peace song. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as our power, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow to take